Okay, here we go with number 7 on page 35 in the current leeway section. It says your position is 3 miles due east of Montauk Point Light. What is the course to steer to arrive at latitude 41 degrees, 0 minutes, okay, which is the line at the bottom of your chart, okay, by longitude 71 degrees, 30 minutes. So 7130 is the first line of longitude on the chart, so that point is already there. Matter of fact, I've used that same 2 points in the previous question, so I've got a line already drawn. I'll just go ahead, I'll draw the line one more time between those 2 points. Okay, so there's my line, all right, and it says if you're turning for 7.8 knots, the current is 330 at 1.2 knots, and a southerly wind is causing 3 degrees of leeway. So I like to write those things down. Speed, current, leeway. Just makes it easy to remember the steps if I write that down. So my speed is 7.8 knots. 7.8 knots. My current is 330 at 1.2. 330 at 1.2 knots. And my wind is southerly wind, south, and it's causing 3 degrees of leeway. So now that I've got that written down, I'm going to go to the chart. I'm going to draw the line. I've already done that. Okay. Then I'm going to determine where I would be in 1 hour. So if I was traveling 7.8 knots for an hour, I would be 7.8 miles from my starting point. If I'm lucky, I can do that. So 5, 6, 7.8. Okay. 5, 6, 7.8. Okay. So here I'm going to mark from my starting point 7.8 miles. I'm going to label that DR, or dead reckoning position. That's where I should be in an hour. Okay. Now I'm going to draw the current. So it says my current is 330 degrees at 1.2 knots. So I'm going to find 330 degrees. 330 degrees is somewhere up in this direction. 330, there it is. Okay. 330. Okay, 330 is up that way. So I'm just going to walk that over here to my compass, or to my starting point from my compass. Okay. I'm going to draw that line in the direction of 330. 330 is that way. Okay. And I'm going to mark 1.2. So I find 1.2. Okay, that looks like about 1.2 right there. I'm going to mark that on the line of current, okay, from my starting point, 1.2 miles. Okay. And now I'm going to put my parallel rule between those 2 spots, okay, between my DR and my 1.2 mile mark for the current. Then I'm going to walk that up to the compass rose very carefully. And I'm going to read the course in the direction that I'm going. So I'm going from this direction to this direction. So I'm going to be over here on this side of the compass, and I'm going to say that's about 114. Okay, I'm going to call that 114, and I have a southerly wind. Okay, so here's my 114. Okay, I've got a southerly wind. That's a southerly wind's coming from the south, pushing me north by 3 degrees. So I want to steer back into the south by 3 degrees. So what do I have to do? I have to come back this way 3 more degrees. So it's going to be plus 3, should give me 117. Now I'm going to look at the book to see, do we have 117? as a choice for number 7. This is number 7. There's 117, choice A. Okay, so there you have it. Current leeway number 7. Okay, we drew a line from our starting point to where we wanted to go. We marked our DR, okay, our dead reckoning position. Then we drew the current in the direction the current was going. In this case, it was going 330 degrees. We measured the 1.2, the speed of the current. We took our parallel rule. We went from the 1 hour mark to our DR. Okay, and then we walked that up to the compass rose. We read that number, 114, and then we compensated for the southerly wind by steering 3 degrees into the wind.